The extreme PTSD from the Chernobog incident has caused her to develop schizophrenia. Her body has self-healing capabilities. It heals by reverting her back to the state before an injury, both making her younger and taking away the memories she has made since then. She used to be the auntie of Blemishine and Nerl, but got removed from the family tree. So, artists, you are free to go. Weedy is one of the OG members of Rhodes Island, having been with us since we were founded. On your first day in Rhodes Island, she behaved so unladylike that a restrainment order was placed on her. Being with Rhodes Island is actually only a part-time job for her. Along with W, pretty much all the surviving Sarkas mercenaries of Reunion joined up with us. She was the one responsible for Kayobi having that name, and also her nickname K. Although born in Castel, she was raised in Colombia, where she came into contact with rock music and FBI open up memes. She got chosen to inherit everything a rich Laterano guy owned, that's why Executor is with her all the time. She loves pets, and keeps a lot of Originium slugs in her room. She loves eating, fashion and just vibing. She's a catastrophe messenger, but before that she was a shrine maiden. We all know that she has the girthiest tail in Arknights, but at this moment it is still constantly growing. He did not apply for Rhodes Island, we invited him. She once was a notorious assassin for the Syracusan Mafia, until an accident involving a mission in Laterano happened. The drone in her artwork is equipped with a speaker, ensuring that everyone on the battlefield can hear her lovely screeching. Her real name is Lisa and she was born in Higashi, but her parents managed to smuggle her out of the country and she ended up with us. She hates the food at Rhodes Island. Like so many operators, she has amnesia, but combined with a bunch of memories of people and locations in her head. While with Rhodes Island, she tries to find things from those memories in reality in order to make sense of them. He is a child of a noble family from Sargon, but left them because he can't be asked to deal with their crap. According to her files, she appeared at one of our offices, told people she had a message to deliver, and then turned into a psychopath. Pretty cute. It's not just a meme, she literally sings and dances on the battlefield. She invented a lot of useful stuff for Colombian companies to get money for her hometown, but never got paid for it because she didn't properly patent her inventions. She got sent to join Rhodes Island because a pet slug called Phil got killed by a Reunion-inspired infected uprising, and she is out for revenge. She is so strong that she gets described as a walking catastrophe, at least in lore. Silver Ash basically runs his entire home country. He rose to the top in a Game of Thrones style manner after becoming the head of his family at a very young age. She doesn't fall asleep everywhere because she's an owl, but because she's just incredibly sleep deprived. Might be the most relatable character in Arknights. She's the assumingly last survivor of the Aslans, which were the race based on lions who used to rule Victoria. In her training regimen she enjoyed Hell Week so much that she asked to participate a second time. She is our behind-the-scenes bodyguard. According to Flamebringer, Shining used to be a legendary swordswoman, but she decided to sheath her sword and heal instead. She decided to become a firefighter after someone she liked died because of arson. In her home region, she was somewhat of a local legend because she couldn't control her arts properly and people didn't know she had arts. He's a black market weapon vendor. She had a very troubled history before becoming Ceylon's bodyguard. That's why she's so closed off. She's a confirmed lesbian. Apparently her hammer isn't a hammer but a unique Originium arts staff. Savage herself doesn't understand it. Saria once worked for the Rhine Lab's private military. Her current personality came to be after her brother's consciousness got implanted into her brain. I have a video about that if you want to know more. Her weapon is a construction tool she found in the burning Chernobog, and until Vulcan modified it, it couldn't even be used as a weapon. She just kept it for intimidation purposes. She was a literal thief in the Lungmen slums, but joined us since Chen thought she would fit well into Rhodes Island. Rob in. Rob out. She also joined us because of silence. If you want to talk to her, you need to submit a written request to Dr. Kalzit. And if you bagpipe, you can't talk to her at all. She wants to preserve water, but has to take baths very often to survive. The duality of whales. She officially is the Rhodes Island published data maintenance assistant, basically an Arknights Google ready to answer all your questions. Something like that would make my life a lot easier. She really enjoys grooming her tail. Apparently it's normal for her to walk on walls. She got given her bell by her country's deities in person. She has a huge knowledge of plants and flowers and uses it to make her enemies suffer. She was a Kazimierzian assassin before joining us and now is commanded directly by Kalzit. Pinecone knew Mountain even before the whole Mansfield incident, being indebted to his company because they helped her family one time. His voice is as it is because of his infection. I wanted to do an impression of that, but my voice range is not really that impressive. She leads the Rhodes Island greenhouse and uses it to help other operators, among others, Nightmare. Nightmare is actually called Gloria, Nightmare is only her second personality. She suffers from amnesia, but it's caused not only by her oropathy. Apparently someone injected her a toxin damaging her neural system a long time ago. Nien isn't one of our operators, but a long-term visitor, literally a freeloader doing nothing all day. She actually radiates light when using arts. She's so energetic because she spent her entire life underground and now wants to see stuff. Her background is completely unknown, she always just talks about ruins and lost worlds. Until she revealed her face in Rhodes Island, most of her squad members had no idea that she was a woman. Before she got infected, she was learning to become a baker. He and his family were framed by their business rivals and got thrown into prison, where he actually spent 6 full years. Although Mostima has traveled the entire world and has been in very dangerous situations, she is amongst the healthiest operators we have. Mint has a secret base in which she likes to hide and read. She has been fighting for the Sarkas for a very long time and has expressed that at some point she will leave Rhodes Island if she will find a better way to do that. However, Amiya doesn't think that that will happen. She hates handling technology, having oropathy is not as bad to her as getting a device to work. She has built 80 of her Meeboos, 20 of those are actively in service, and all of them are named individually by Maya herself. She claims to be a detective investigating Penguin logistics, and everyone feels so bad for her that she is allowed to act freely in that regard. Just like his father and grandfather, he became a bodyguard for the Silver Ash family. He also likes cooking. Her biggest strengths are swinging a big sword and flower arrangements. She can literally turn invisible. People usually communicate with her via text. She is so close with Emperor that people are actually jealous of her. As a kid, she was fascinated by professional security companies. One day she wants to have her own security company of herself. His clothes are so casual and unprotective that people think he has a secret way of protecting himself from Originium. Her hair is supposedly very smooth because of the arts she uses. Her humor is very dark, and she actively starts conversations with people just in order to tell them offensive jokes and see how they react. Before the whole Mansfield story, she was a gardener of all things. Despite being a very good and reliable operator, her insecurities make her less dependable in actual combat. Despite how many perceive him, he really just wants to cook seafood and chill. He's so not into fighting that back in Lungmen, Fu Wei had to take care of his trouble. Jackie actually has an Originium-based gun provided by our engineering department, but she prefers to just punch people. The Usus student self-governing group may be led by Zima, but the original idea was Istina's. She has the power to manipulate dreams, and ever since she arrived, every kid at Rhodes Island has been having dreams of hope and joy at night. She often helps out in training our operators as combat opponent. Silence is Ifrit's personal guardian, trying her best to keep control of her and keeping Saria away from her. He once saved Ark's life, thanks a lot. She is incredibly successful in fighting the Lungmen underground because she once was a notorious member of it herself. He is the leader of an underground organization called Azazel, which helps the infected of Ursus. Yet he doesn't share any information on it with Rhodes Island. She is a wanted criminal in Victoria. She got her cooking skills from being a youth scout. He lost his parents and joined us. They are literally lost, by the way. He doesn't know where they live or if they still live at all. Both of her parents were oropathy researchers. Ever since they are not around anymore, she has developed somewhat of a negative attitude towards the infected. She was an actual slave, that's why there's a barcode on her shoulder. Her weapon can be folded and unfolded and can be used both as a spear and as a rifle. One of her main jobs in Rhodes Island is to test experimental weapons. She's a fortune teller, and she's actually pretty accurate in her readings. Despite being incredibly strong and having a pretty big affinity to violence, she is a core member of the medical department. She was a child soldier for Colombia until her entire unit got wiped out and she left. She is a biohazard specialist. and got infected. Folinik lost her family to the Ursus Empire's wrath, but was saved by Kal'tsit. Ever since, she has been following her. During the times he's not deployed, he helps out at the Rhodes Island greenhouse, taking care of flowers. A tribal warrior who joined us because of Blaze. Her entire tribe was wiped out by the army of Ursus. She is literally the last one of her kind. She was basically Arknights' Bruce Lee, starring in many movies until she got kicked out because of her infection. She suffers from one of the worst cases of oropathy, yet you won't see any crystals on her, because it's an internal infection, which in the long run will turn her blind and deaf. Despite what many might think, she is actually deeply religious. He is an actual executor for the Arknights Pope, and during the fulfillment of his duties, he ended up killing another Sancta. That's why his halo is black. Together with her bird companion, she tried to overtake her entire home region and advance her people with modern technology, but the industrial age and its consequences got prevented by Rhodes Island. He was a reunion member until one day after Tallulah defeat, he suddenly was found in Rhodes Island. Then he joined us. Her horns are so huge that she literally destroys the dogs she walks through. He loves to hold epic chess tournaments with fawns. According to herself, her staff talks to her. Okay. Derna served in Colombia's army and still knows Frostleaf from back then. Before becoming a Rhodes Island instructor, she served in the armed forces of Bolivar. She has a photographic memory. She enjoys cooking a lot, yet she isn't really good at it. She loves playing baseball, but she's trash at playing baseball. Despite being a Penguin Logistics member and a Rhodes Island operator, she also has a few small businesses on the side. He only smiles around people he doesn't feel close to. That's why he loses his smile once you E2 him. Arknights Futanari. She loves pulling epic pranks on others, like putting beans in their food. She's a content creator, but her videos are literally just her filming battles and war crimes. After LiveLeak got shut down, she joined us. He acts so recklessly that everyone expects him to just die next time he does something. Too many facts, you should just watch my video on her. For now, let me just say, she'll be back. Actually one of Kal'tsit's assistants. She tried walking from Bolivar to Minos, but ended up on the other side of Terra, where she spent her day biting people before she got rescued by us. She thinks she got sent to Rhodes Island in order to train to become a warrior, when in reality her tribe sent her to us to get oropathy treatment. His home country consists of Lupos and Vulpos, and he is a, you got it, feline. She calls you socially awkward. Before she joined us, she could be seen all throughout Terra hunting gigantic monsters. Nerl's sister. She powers her skills by channeling her infected blood into her chainsaw, that's why her theme song is called Boiling Blood. He is the CEO of one of the biggest logistics companies in Lungmen. Bybeak designs clothes, among others she designed a frilly miniskirt for Kal'tsit. I kind of want to see that. When working together with you, she tells you to not slack off, because if you will, then she's going to bonk you. She used to be an underground street fighter, getting a fearsome reputation in her home city's underground. She is a professional breeder for metal crabs. She studied at the Victorian Academy together with Chen, where she gave her the nickname Chen. He is Leonhard's bodyguard. Her oropathy is supposedly very unique, and just like with you, Warfarin is also not allowed to get near her. She joined Rhodes Island because Magellan recommended her to us. Thanks for nothing, Maggie. Areen was kicked out of his country because of his infection and joined Rhodes Island during our stay in Lytanian shortly after Twilight of Volumunde. She is literally a battle nun for Laterano, listens to music 24/7 and spends a lot of time talking fashion with Utage and Orchid. He likes handcrafting and among other shizzle, he's very good at origami. Her idle voice line is trying out her new lipstick, on you. She has a firearm fetish since she grew up in Iberia, which is heavily dominated by Laterano culture and their thing for guns. She is facing multiple allegations of tax evasion by the Laterano Notarial Hall. She is not only into skating, but also into graffiti and hip-hop. In the Chernobog mess, she tried finding her father together with her uncle. She found his dead body lying on the floor of Zima's school. Ever since, she suspects Zima and the others to be the ones who killed her father. I hate Ark. Her ears appear like the ones of a donkey to many, yet in reality they have the shape of demon horns. And if you want to learn more about your favorite operators, I've made a bunch of videos where you can find lots of more information about many of them. And if you liked that video and want to see more lore-related Arknights content, subscribe! And to those of you who miss the low-star characters in this, if this video performs well, then I'm gonna do a second part which will be purely dedicated to them. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!